I'm all of them together because I feel like they all have some truth that can deliver my people and help us. So yes, reincarnation is true to me, but I think it's so much bigger than just how they term. The reason a lot of us don't embrace reincarnation because they made it hard to understand, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Once again, if these two people act alike, but they both here right now, they just act alike. But if it was like my man's uncles and his whole family say he's a carbon copy of his uncle and he hasn't met his uncle is nowhere around, they're definitely the same people. Energetically. Because 10 people ain't gonna lie to him and his family about somebody that passed. Period. So Buddha on this left hand, Osama on his right hand, because when I study their stories, I'm genuine and wise enough to know that Buddha, this man Buddha, lived thousands, hundreds, maybe more years before Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was alive when we was born.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Alive and well. So what told us that that energy wouldn't return if the whole freaking life was the same? Buddha's father was very filthy, rich, royal kingdom. And Buddha was very spoiled. That's why they have these fat statues of Buddha to try to display that and paint that picture that is gluttony involved. Riches and money. That's why they do that, because Buddha was really born amongst a lot of riches and wealth. But the real Buddha, you know, it's two different Buddhas. The Buddha he painting on me right now, the skinny Buddha. The Buddha he got in the restaurant, the skinny Buddha. Them little rolls knotted up that you see on people, the stuff I'm getting checked, that's Buddha too. But a lot of our people, brown people, don't know that that's the same person. That's not the same person. That white fat person with the bald head is who they saying is Buddha. But if you Google Buddha right now, this person gonna pop up. So
the pointed is more pointed than round at the top.
Yeah, and he got the cornrows. But why do they do that? They symbolically trying to diss at Buddha. They shoot slugs at all the prophets, talk shit about all of them to this day. They got this big fat ass person sitting down smiling. But that ain't Buddha, bro. That's actually disrespectful. But they saying, basically in so many words, the man was spoiled. Because over there in that country, the bigger you are, the more you looked at as money. Over there in their country, and people not game enough to understand that they're not studying the story of Buddha to know that Buddha went a long time without eating on purpose. Buddha's whole story was, in so many words, him feeling grief, pain, and sorrow from being born into all these riches and all these blessings and all this kingdom stuff, and not being exposed to any pain that was on earth. Any famine, any drug abuse, any struggle. And when he seen that struggle, when he left his dad's kingdom one day, he had never been outside the kingdom of the palace. He left. The man seen that struggle, came back home, he had a newborn child he was just having, had a child mom living with him within the palace in the kingdom, had a dad that was spoiling them. The man ain't never walked on regular floor. They put roses down when the man walked. He left all that shit and went and lived like a normal man. Search the story of Buddha. Stop eating. Stop enjoying riches. Stopped enjoying all the perks of life and wanted to experience life from the perspective of these people that he had encountered that was experiencing these struggles and these pains. Go search Osama and understand that man lived in a cave on purpose. They make y'all think that this man was hiding in a cave from America.
Why was he in the cave?
Osama daddy is an all, let's just say for lack of better words, in a country of God. This man was born to too much wealth, too much riches. And he went and lived in a cave, my brother. And he got skinny.
Because they did, I ain't gonna lie, I'm born in 95, so
exactly.
I'm like 6'7" when this is on the news. But I do remember they was trying to make it seem like he was all scared and trying to hide.
That man wasn't pussy. That man wasn't worried about nothing. How he scared of y'all saying his homeboys are strapping bombs to them and getting on planes and running them into places. One thing them people was is it's scary. Hey, I don't know one nigga that'll strap a bomb to himself and walk nowhere to kill nobody. Them motherfuckers was going out in a blaze of glory about what they believe in. You could kill them. They don't give a damn. Wasn't none of them scared. How was they scared? They strapping bombs to their kids. Crying with their kids, feeding their kids. Nigga, ain't none of us gonna sacrifice our kids. Nigga, it got to a point where they couldn't strap bombs to themselves no more. They were strapping bombs to their kids. And we look at that like, man, that's sick. Man, them people would have died so their kids wouldn't have to die. They just knew they couldn't die no more. Enough of them had died. We wasn't gonna let them trick us no more. So they was making kids run up on U.S. soldiers with bombs on them. Do you get what I'm saying? They stood for their beliefs, whether right or wrong. Before we get into the opinions, they wasn't scared. And they was willing to live and die about what they believed in, and we gotta respect that. And Osama ain't telling them to do that. They try to blame Osama bin Laden for all that on whole ass shit, and he didn't tell them to do that. Google picture Osama right now on your phone, brother, please. Because with me, it's like, my mama raised me better than that, bro. Like, our grandmas, bro, they raised better than that. Anybody Google picture Osama bin Laden, y'all tell me if y'all looking at an evil man, bro. We smarter than that, bro. We're smarter than that. We know when we're looking at someone that is wicked, gang. You can't find one picture of Osama. Do he look like a bad guy? He don't look like no bad guy whatsoever. You can't find a picture of him that look like this person they painted him to be. We just bought that shit. We just bought that shit. You can look that man in his eyes and see his soul. That man wasn't no evil, wicked man. Am I wrong? Why do he look evil? And we black people, bro, we connected to the earth. We know what's going on. We looking at some shit. We know a motherfucker ain't right. Come on now. We don't know nothing. So we was babies. We was going to walk off from your ass and you was on bullshit. We know little black babies know not to talk to certain people. You can't trick a little black baby if you got a certain energy on you. We ain't fucking with that shit, man. That man was a great man, man. We just let them sell us all these lies. I know he was a great man without meeting him. Let me tell you how. And I don't vouch for a lot of people I ain't met.
What made you research him?
I'm a student of Gaddafi. Okay. So I always studied world leaders instead of regular gang leaders. Because growing up where I grew up, you know, in A-Leaf, southwest side of Houston, bro, no, we all joint gangs. They wanted me to be a Crip, my brother to be this, that, and the third. We knew each other since middle school. They wanted all of us to be some type of gang, right? Yeah. I had already been exposed to my mama dating dudes or sleeping with dudes or dealing with dudes to feed us for money. Prior to me being 12 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, where all my partners was joining gangs. So I seen all these niggas come in and out my house and not be good niggas. And my mama work harder than them. And them live off my mama. And them mooch my mama. And I'm the kid that used to run outside and write the license plate down or take pictures of the license plate so that if my mama don't come home, I know, you know, what's going on and who to call the police on or whatever as a young nigga or who to look for or whatever my mama told me to do at that time. I was a little kid, but basically, when my partner started joining these gangs, I told myself, for a nigga to be my big homie, he had to be like Jay-Z. Because financially, intelligently, at that time, Jay-Z was the biggest black man I knew, or knew of. Pac wasn't alive. I was studying Pac all day, every day, looking at Pac, but Pac wasn't alive. Yeah. So in my head, I told myself, man, a nigga had to be a big old black man to be my big homie. Because I ain't finna let these niggas that I'm seeing get on the Metro bus tell my brothers do certain shit that they ain't even gonna do. I'm not finna let them niggas be my big homie, bro. And I seen them niggas be hoe ass niggas to my niggas. When we was 12 years old.
Ambition too, though, to where it's like, bro, you're not finna tell me I want to be this, and you not that. Yeah. You can't really tell me what I could do because I'm not trying to do that.
My brother, this shit look live as hell. You ain't gonna shade it too much though, huh? So they can see what it is.
So it's real. Like, I'm gonna wipe it so you can see.
That's crazy, bro. I got Buddha man. Oh, okay. No.
So I'm using your skin as the light parts, and then I'm just building it up.
Beautiful. My only concern was it being too dark to where they gotta ask me who is it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have that issue. But what I always do is I can go lighter, especially since you said that. I'll go lighter, and then if you want to darken it up after it heals, just pull back up, bro, and then
I'll wear the light. Yes, sir. I'm glad we
you can go.
That. You make the ears shorter. Yeah. You make the ears shorter.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Dang, they trying to make my boy ears too big. They did, not you.
That was like some well, when you pull that image up, that's always how it's depicted. Are you talking about how they're two different
I think
ones?
that's something too.
One that has the longer, like it's like a person has gauges or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And at that time in history, I know that's the only reason I accept the long ear Buddha. Because at that time, I know they had different decorations on their bodies. They had different altars. So that's why I trust the long ears. But you never know how they dissing us, bro. They can have this man ears on these pictures big just because they say he listened too much. You know, they got stories. You never know. You can't trust them. They got stories of Buddha sitting under trees, meditating, zenning, and just listening to the word around him and becoming one with everything. That's how he came into the prophetic ways and understandings and teachings to the point where this man starving himself in front of everybody, right, not eating. His partner's coming along making fun of him like, you're not going to eat today, Buddha? You're not going to do this, that, and the third? Man, next thing you know, them niggas starving themselves. Them niggas not eating.
What he doing?
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Buddha influenced people by leading by example. Study the stories. Same with Osama, my nigga. Osama was living in them caves, rich as shit, live as shit. And next thing you know, all them communities was in them caves too. Next thing you know, all these followers, why you think they blamed Osama? Why you think America blamed Osama and started talking all this shit about him and making him out to be that? Because the leadership.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm kind of like I don't know if I was.
Oh, this is my favorite, bro. This is so beautiful.
Conspiracy theorist to where I don't believe that America did anything for whatever reason they say. So I'm like, they could have depicted it however way just because they needed someone to be the scapegoat.
There we go.
You see what I'm saying?
There we go.
So I mean,
well, that's this.
I'm listening. I'm like,
that's this country.
I know. I don't know.
That's you're older than me. That's this country, big bro. Period. That's what we looking at. We know they tactics.
Like,
we know how they move.
That they went to the moon.
I think when I got exposed to Buddha truly, I'm 28 now, so I think I had to be like 25, 26. It was as of recent.